Welcome, race fans, to race number 2 of the playoffs here. Race number 13 of the season, the Charlotte Roval, the Truck Challenge. The Smokin Gobbler Truck Series is here tonight once again at the road course to help determine our final 5 drivers to make it into the final race of the season to go for a championship. Right there, you're seeing last week's winner of the Las Vegas race of Scott Crump. He is locked in to the final round to go for a championship. Looking to try to see if we can get another driver tonight to do the same. Here, joining me today is David Huckleberry, the producer, showing you these wonderful scenes at this incredible road course, as well as me joining you tonight, your colorful commentary of Gerald Campbell. This is what the playoff looks like. The driver in green there, Scott Crump, is the driver locked in on points. He has nothing to worry about. He does not need to win or finish above anybody else. He is already locked in automatically. What you see there in yellow, we have 4 drivers right now locked in on points as they stand. Again, a driver anywhere in this list can win and immediately lock themselves in and move that list down further. But right there in yellow, Ethan Stanley, Ethan Burrell, Matthew Weeks, Alec Vandersant, probably the favorite here tonight. All those drivers right now looking in on points. And then everyone there in red are the drivers in desperate need to either gain some points tonight or come out with a victory. This is going to be a road course, but we have 2 more races to go about deciding that after tonight. One's going to be a short track, and then the final one, just for fun and giggles, they made it a super speedway, so who knows what comes of it there. So if you're one of those drivers right now on points, there's no one safe. 4 drivers can make it in on a win. We know one driver, at least as of right now, can make it in on points. Ethan Stanley, 32 points above the cutoff line, is hoping to extend that lead of his over his competitors, so that way he at least has that buffer of potentially being the driver. But obviously, all these drivers would prefer to go about getting a win and automatically locking themselves in. Scott Crump having that advantage, what that does is he's going to be practicing knowing he's in at Kansas. These other drivers may not feel comfortable just yet to start putting the practice time in at Kansas, but Scott Crump can go ahead and start practicing the Kansas Speedway and getting himself prepared to go for his first Truck Series championship, as he has been trying for multiple years now. So congratulations, Scott, last week. Unfortunately, I was unable to make it, but I did tune in a little bit there. I was sick, and I am healthy now and gearing and ready to go here at this road course. This is the Roval, so it is partly a road course and an oval. They put them together, and it produces a lot of great action. Tonight we have around 25 trucks here joining us. So a lot of these contenders will see where their competition is at, as half the field will be in the playoffs. So over half the field are playoff drivers. So these drivers are knowing that every spot matters right now to try to see if they can get themselves into the championship. Qualifying is underway. We have roughly around, it looks like about a minute left in qualifying here. And as we stated, after this race, we will be off next week, coming back to the racetrack once again at North Wilkesboro. There you see in the corner there our schedule for the remaining of the season. December 4th, North Wilkesboro, one of my favorite tracks, a short track where beating and banging will happen, and excited to see that as a playoff race there. And then we go to Talladega, just to really make everything crazy and potentially give us a driver that's really far out, maybe a Robert Hill or Norgard there, back pretty far in points, gives them an opportunity to win their way in to the playoff. And once you're in the playoffs, there'll be 5 drivers. Anything can happen. I've won a championship under crazier circumstances. You can do it as long as you make it into the playoffs. Anything can happen. So All those drivers are trying to vie for their position there to be in the top 5. Looks like qualifying is about wrapped up here, about 10 seconds left here in qualifying. It is a 44 lap, 400. I'd be tired after that. 44 lap race. There is 3 sets of tires, and there will be 1 stage awarded at lap 8. So drivers will be potentially going really hard to get in the top 10 for those first 8 laps. This track is notorious for burning up tires, but these drivers will probably put all that behind them. We'll get to see really, really, really hard racing here to try to get themselves into that top 10 to get some of those points going their way. Qualifying has wrapped up. We're going to give it over to Dave here to go about giving you the qualifying rundown for tonight's event.
All right, on the pole we have Alex Van de Zandt, followed by Leighton Norgard, Scott Crump in the 3rd spot, Corey Abbott, Sean Ryan, Wesley Crump, Matthew Weeks, Robert Hill Jr., Jesse Rasmus, Ethan Barrell in the 10th position, Jared Rexing, Ray Bracey, Latham Joyner, Michael Hosack, Cody McCorkle, Brent Jones, Tyler Dixon, Dustin Durr, Michael Klein, Sam Batwell, Cody Harrington, Ethan Stanley, who won our Formula One race just a little bit earlier, Mark Murphy, Andrew Hardcastle, and rounding out the field is Jaden Rasmus.
Well, we're giving you the color context there. We got a sample of everything right there in the top 4. You have a driver that is in on points as of right now of Alex Van der Zandt. Aiton Norgard there is one of those drivers that's out of the points right now, and he would be marked in red. Scott Grump, who's locked himself in, will be in green. And then you got a Corey Abbott that's not. He's also in red there. But yeah, we have a different of colors up there. But what we are excited to see is that some of those drivers in red are going to really make this interesting, like a Norgard who is 25 points out. So it's going to be interesting to see all those drivers right there either trying to get some points wrapped up their way or go out of here with a victory and not have to worry about points from here on out. Well, the pace car will be underway, and that'll give us a rundown of this race. Let's see if we can, you want to go on board with our leader, and I can give you kind of like a rundown of what this track looks like. This will be an interesting point of the track on restarts. This is turn 1, heartbreak turn is what they call, as it's a very fast left-hander that will go uphill just a little bit, can get very loose coming out of there. And that causes a lot of stack ups sometimes. We've seen pile ups in that turn there. You come back around with another left, and then you'll have this wide sweeping right hand turn. You want to keep your momentum up, go out as far as you can, but you don't want to get into that red and white because it's inverted, and that will send you straight into that outside wall. Keep it going. You want to go over those bumps, get out to the grass, use as much racetrack as you possibly can, because here you'll go down this little straightaway. But it's very important because you want to get out as far as you can and make this turn, because this is a very scary fast turn right here where you'll take 2 right-hand turns immediately. This is a very hard right-hand turn. A lot of drivers will overshoot this, end out in the grass out there, and because immediately after you turn right, you have to hard brake it and then turn left again. This is where people end up going into that outside wall, taking too much speed. Then you have to take another turn to get back out onto the NASCAR track. Again, the whole time trying to keep it underneath you, keep the speed underneath you, and get as much speed coming out of there as possible, because this is the longest part of the racetrack where you need that speed behind you. This is where you'll shift it up all the way into high gear. This is about the only turn you'll be up at high gear. About coming out of turn 2, NASCAR turn 2, you'll be up into 4th gear at the highest speeds of the racetrack. Keep an eye on that wall. You'll see those little braking markers. About to the number 3 marker, 3 or 4 is going to be drivers will start to brake. Different drivers have different braking points, so watch out for drivers that end up running into the back of each other as you get into this very tight, very quick. A lot of mistakes can be made here of a turn. That little left and right, puts you right back onto the track. It's just meant to slow these drivers down because they'll go right back onto the NASCAR track again. You want to cover as much speed. A lot of drivers will end up losing half a second in that turn alone just with not getting through there cleanly. So you want to keep your speed up, and that will lead you back into another left and right hand turn up here, and then that will put you right back at the front of the field for the start and finish line. That gives you an idea. These drivers are about to show it to you in real life. Green flag is out where the racing gets good and the good gets racing. We're road course racing for a championship at the Charlotte Roval. And you saw there, Alex Vandersand took off. He wanted to get as much spacing as possible between him and the rest of the field, and he got himself about a half a second lead from just being able to get through there by themselves. So Alex Vandersand out front there with Leighton Norgard there in the number 12, trying to gain back up, trying to keep him in view. Easy to say Alex Vandersand will be the favorite here tonight. He beat everyone by the pole by 0.8 of a second, almost a second faster than the field. Again, we will have a caution at lap 8, and you're seeing right now the 12 is doing everything possible to be able to stay onto the back of that 97. Try to get the draft behind him if you can into these NASCAR turns. It does help a little bit, but he's got to be able to just keep within the draft right now and hopefully be able to have time to be able to make a move. So far, clean throughout the field. We see a few drivers back there getting a little loose, but overall, everyone keeping it on the racetrack, which is easier said than done as we went through the field under pace laps there. You can see how difficult track can be as it is a lot of very fast left and right hand turns. Easy for these vehicles to lose the nose or lose the back end for sure. Right now you're seeing a real good battle shaping up here for the lead. Something that maybe some drivers didn't think would happen. We have Alex Vandersand trying to hold off the 12 of Norgard there. He's doing a fantastic job of being able to keep up. He hasn't put a wheel wrong yet. Trying really hard to keep up the speed, to keep up with that 97.
An issue with Jaden Rasmus in the back in the field. Take a look at what happened to him.
And that was literally last car in the field there. As you saw, coming around turn 1, got loose coming up the hill. The back end will do that. Luckily for him, he was the last truck in the field as he went back up into the racing line. That's why we end up having trucks stacked up there in wrecks, because there's no room. There's walls on the inside and outside of it. A lot of people like to say this racetrack is very similar to a street course in a sense when you get into the infield, because the walls are so close. But it is one of a kind track, because as soon as you get through the infield there, you get to the NASCAR turns and it's back going full throttle through a turn again. Good battle there. It looks like we got the 10 there. That's Jared Rexing. He hasn't been to a few of the races. Good to see him back in the race here for Racing Point Emu. Gosh darn, these drivers really estimate sometimes.
They challenge you.
Yeah, I know. Right there is our points leader, Ethan Stanley, trying to see if he can get past there the 7 of Ray Bracey, road course winner of this season. So Ray Bracey showing his road course prowess once again, running in 13th position there. Ethan Stanley trying to get to the back of, I believe that's the 05 of Robert Hill. So Ethan Stanley trying to get himself up into the 11th position already. So far, it's been pretty clean up here, but what we have noticed now, Alex Vandersand has started to leave Alex Norgard, or Leighton Norgard there. About a second difference now between first and second, and growing more and more. We're already a second and a half, so 97 has decided it's time to go. He is taking off.
Ethan Stanley got by Robert Hill Jr. Take that 11th spot.
There you go. See, there's very important moves being made here because that 91 truck trying to get some points his way for the stage that's already halfway through. We only have 4 more laps before the end of the stage, and he's right now looking to have 0. So he needs to gain a few more positions. As you see, drivers right here trying to hold off or gain as many as they can. Like Ethan Burrell got around Matthew Weeks. Ethan Burrell's up to 7th. Matthew Weeks down to 8th now. And Ethan Burrell started back there in the 10th position up to 7th. So that's a net gain of 3 points right now that he's trying to gain and collect his way. Right now, all these drivers that are back here running for points, seeing the 97 and the 12 up there, both of those drivers, knowing that automatically takes 1 more position away out of the chase. 97 was the 5th driver in points, so that would put both the 37, the 11, the 91 down 1 more position. As you see there, Ethan Stanley finally getting into a points-paying position there, up into 10th, trying to see if he could gain a few more. His battle in his mind has to be with Ethan Burrell, the closest driver to him in regular season points right now. 1 driver automatically will get in at the end of this chase format with points. Ethan Stanley and Ethan Burrell are the 2 top drivers contending for that right now.
Oh, got an issue with Dustin Dewar.
Dustin Dewar running back there in the 17th position behind, I think that was 89 to Brent Jones. Ooh, heartbreak turn. And it took a heartbreak there for the 32. It's going to be able to keep going. Looks like he may have locked it up. Instead of running into the back of Brent Jones, he took a hard right there. But we'll see if he's able to continue to go around them. You're seeing there the 91. Biggest mover, absolutely, so far of this race. Ooh,
big
gets
time
out
loose.
wide. Big time loose. And you see, if messing up that turn, look how much gap will be made between him and the 70, who is right in front of him going into that turn. He will lose over a second behind him. Obviously, the biggest mover right now has been Ethan Stanley. Started back in the 22nd position. Just to be in the top 10 is very impressive for that driver because he had to have passed 12 trucks to be able to even get into that position. That's to a lap right now. Pits are closed as we will have 2 more laps into this into this stage. Ooh, the 10 truck may have almost hit that outside wall, went a little too far out. Able to keep going. Doesn't look like he hit the wall, but he came very close there. Well, Alex Van der Sant out now to a 3.5 second lead after 6 laps. After 6 laps, he's already gained about almost over half a second a lap now on our second place driver. And the second place driver finds himself for almost 5 seconds ahead of the driver behind him of Crump. So the 12 is not slow by any means. He's losing touch to the 97. It's just the 97. It's just that fast. Now we need to keep in mind, we thought Alex Van der Sant was going to win the last road course we were at. And then what ended up happening was there was a bunch of cautions, and he got involved in one of those cautions, and that ended up making him lose that race, and that gave the win over to Ray Bracey. So anything can happen. You're going to want to keep in touch and keep watching because anything can absolutely happen here at these road courses. All it takes is for Alex Van der Sant to lap the wrong driver at the wrong time. Ooh, a little bit of contact between 3rd and 4th there. Wow, Scott Crump coming back up the racetrack. He did not like how Sean Ryan there raced him and decided to take him out after they had made a little bit of contact. Came back at him there, it looked like. You see, the 9 cars threw it in there. He did not have the room, really. Getting to the 90. 90 stayed in the gas there. To the credit of Scott Crump, kept it going somewhat straight. So for his benefit, getting back into the 9 there, kept him into that third position. Again, Scott Crump really not racing for anything. He's already locked himself in, but still wants to have good runs. And unfortunately, there for Sean Ryan, that will throw him back way further in the field at a loss of a lot of points to his name, because this is the last lap of the stage here. We already have the 97 coming across. They're waiting until the top 10 gets through, which should be right about now. We should be having another caution here. Ooh, Brent Jones got into the curb there, spun it around. Able to keep going though. Good for him, but having to find room to get back onto the racetrack. So you can see the difficulties of this track. It is very, very, very difficult. A lot of drivers having trouble through that bus stop area, spinning themselves around. But luckily, no one getting caught into the wall just as of yet. Looks like I was off. It's at the end of lap 8 there. So it will be this time by that Alex Van der Sant will take the checker and the stage. Oh, Alex Van der Sant losing the nose a little bit there. Wow. It looked like it was all over the place for him. That's how hard he's pushing it here. He had a 5-second lead. Now it dropped back another second, but Alex Van der Sant still well up front to be able to get the stage end here. So these drivers are having difficulties all around the racetrack right now.
A lot of curb.
A lot of curb for the 97. You gotta be careful. That could end up damaging the vehicle there. So Alex Van der Sant got a good battle back here for 5th. 3 wide. Looks like a driver trying to dive it in there to gain a position. Looked like Matthew Weeks able to get it over Ethan Burrell. Got the position back from his teammate. And his teammate actually, he put his teammate in a really bad position because his teammate lost another position to Jared Rexing. We're going to have to go back and watch that. That lost Ethan Burrell 2 positions there with that dive bomb move by Matthew Weeks. And Matthew Weeks made an incredible pass there. Threw it in to his outside going into the turn. Gets the turn good. 37 overshot the turn. Slows down to try to make the turn. And behind that, you see the 10 just pass him at the line for Ethan Burrell to lose 2 more positions. And why that's important is because Ethan Stanley absolutely was losing positions there at the end and dropped outside the top 10 to gain 0 points for the end of that stage. Ethan Burrell was going to have a net gain of points there, and he lost 2. So Ethan Burrell only gained 3 points at the end of this stage when he could have potentially gained 5. So remember that when it comes down to the end of the playoffs here, with who's going to be able to get on points, because that was 2 points lost to Ethan Burrell. Interesting. Very, very, very good racing back there to set all that up. Unfortunately for Sean Ryan, outside the points as well, was trying to get some. He was in great area to be able to gain some points, but outside the top 10 to gain 0 points as well. Ethan Stanley 0 points, Joyner 0 points, McCorkle 0 points. A lot of our playoff drivers not in the top 10. Dixon didn't get any points. You saw Brent Jones' issues. He didn't score any points as well. Really, only 6 drivers trying to get points tonight gained any. Alex Van der Sant with the stage win gets 10 points. Norgard gets 9. Abbott there, who's having a fantastic race tonight, is going to get himself 7 points back there. And Weeks is going to get himself 5 points. Ethan Burrell 3. Hill is going to come away with 2 points to his name. Look at Ray Bracy in the top 10, showing his road course prowess once again. Well, we're going to give it over to Dave here to go ahead and give us our sponsor shout-outs for tonight's event while we're under caution and these drivers come down pit road, and we'll go over race
All right, and our sponsors for tonight. For our series sponsor, we have the Smokin Gobbler Barbecue, Abingdon, Virginia's finest smoked barbecue. Let the Smokin Gobbler help out with your next large group or gathering. Our premier sponsors for this year, TA Services, who we just showed you the ad from. For over 36 years, TA Services has been a trusted domestic and international full-service third-party logistics provider, offering freight brokerage, managed transportation, warehousing, and fulfillment, and cross-border logistics services to shippers around the globe. TA Services moves what matters to you. Let the TA Services team make ship happen for you. Blue Egg Marketing. Blue Egg is the marketing department for small business. For small business owners, Blue Egg is your biggest fan. Finally, Breezy Cam. Breezy is a venture-backed tech company based in Toronto and Boston. They're on a mission to reimagine the group photo experience. Gone are the days of carrying around a tripod or a selfie stick. They help their customers and users better tell stories around meaningful moments. They let anyone tap into nearby cameras to capture group memories at iconic places as if users were controlling their own native camera app, except now from a perfectly positioned vantage point. Today you can find Breezy at well-known sports venues and cultural landmarks across 4 continents.
Oh, no issues for the 21 truck. I think he might have gotten confused as to where the exit point of pit road was. He was our 4th place running position driver. Wow, let's go back and see what happened to the 21 there.
The 21? Okay, let me find Corey Abbott.
Go back on pit road and see what ended up happening with one of our chase drivers here.
Let's see. Right there. Oh, pretty close.
Boy. So he was getting off of pit road here and tried to beat the 90 to the line, which he does, except for he has to make the turn to get back on first track. Oh no, he didn't hit the wall, so great. This is a weird pit road, but the 21 truck ended up having to come to a stop to be able not to hit the pit road exit. And I think because he was stopped on racetrack, he lost all those positions on pit road and now finds him back into the 11th position. Oh, that is horrible for Corey Abbott. And we were just saying he was having a fantastic race. I mean, he still can. He still has the ability, but that is definitely something he's going to go back and kick himself for sure for, because that's tough to say you lost it not because of your pit crew, but because you didn't know where the exit was. That's kind of
You just
hard.
didn't know directions.
Yeah, unfortunate for the 21. But we'll at least get to watch him try to get his way back up through the field. There's our running positions there. Alex Van Descent still continues to lead. Norgard in second. Crump still in third. Weeks now works his way up into 4th after pits. Rexing having a good race there in 5th. Burrell 6th. Hill 7th. Crump in 8th. Or Crump's, that's not Scott Crump. That's Wesley Crump, his brother there. He's in 8th. Sean Ryan gets his way back up into 9th. Ethan Stanley in 10th now. So these drivers just went really hard for 8 laps to try to get it. And we saw over a 10-second gap between the 1st and 3rd place driver. Over a 10-second gap. I think it was close to almost 15 at that point. So you can see tires are going to be a big thing. We're going to have probably one green flag pit stop, if I had to make a guess. So these drivers will have to figure out when they're going to take those tires on, how to save the tires, as tires will probably be your determining factor when you're pitting more than anything. Good run down through the field there. Still have 24 trucks on the lead lap. Only one driver 2 laps down, but everyone else still on the racetrack on the lead lap. So still a lot of points to be gained or lost on the racetrack, depending on how this restart shapes out. Looks like they'll be going green this time by. So now the 12 has to decide, is it worth him trying to chase the 97 as closely as he did? He was able to keep up with him for the first couple laps, and then after that, the 97 just had a tire saving ability to be able to start putting that gapping distance. So will the 12 try to save his tires, or will he try to keep up with the 97 once again? And how does it work out with him? I really think the battle here, the interesting point for everyone to watch, will be from third on back, because they are so close in time that is going to shape up to be a really, really good, interesting race from third on back, trying to get those final positions there. Ethan Stanley sees his closest competitors right in front of him and needs to go after him. Ethan Burrell, Matthew Weeks trying to gain those extra points to their name. Hill trying to get some more points going his way. John Ryan needs to go back up and maybe have a word with Crump. So it's going to be interesting here, as we'll be going back green with on lap 13 here. And we'll have 31 laps left in this race. Pace car is off. 97 can go at any point now. Looks like this time around he's going to wait until possibly coming out of the turn. Green flag is out. The 97 gets back onto the gas. So far, everyone clean through that little bus stop area. 12 car able to clear himself down. Now is going to try to see if he can go toe-to-toe with the 97. Still a lot of battling side by side outside the top 5 there, as the 10 and the 37 side by side. Still side by side. Ethan Burrell trying to tiptoe around to the outside of Jared Rexon there. Throwing it in there. Looks like 37 still trying to get himself clear of this position. Will have the advantage in this turn here. 10 car a little out wide. Coming to the NASCAR turn. Gets into the wall just a little bit, Jared Rexon. Maybe he's going to use that momentum to get back underneath the 37, as they're side by side still going through NASCAR turns 1 and 2. Coming out of 2, 10 truck there is able to clear himself for the 5th position. Now that sets up Ethan Burrell and Ethan Stanley nose to tail. Those two drivers closest to each other at the top of the regular season standings right now. That puts Ethan Stanley's competitor right in front of him. Oh, something happened to the 97. 97 there of Alex Vandersant may have missed the turn and had to come to a stop. And that really put 3 Wide Racing back there, as that kind of crumped them all up together there. Put them all in a bad position. Ethan Stanley now trying to get past the 37. 37 still trying to hold him off. Good battling back there. We'll figure out what happened to the 97 here. Not sure. Yeah, he had to have a slowdown. He went through it and then had to slow down. I believe it's a 10-second slowdown or something like that, 5 or 10 seconds, and he ended up dropping back. That now puts the 12 truck up at the lead. We'll see how the 97 does. Yeah, just went right through it. Went right through it. Knew he was going to miss it, and he had to take the hold. He's up to 5th as he's trying to get around now Jared Rexon. Well, that really shook everything up. Still has plenty of time to get himself up through the field, but so far has not gained any position or time on track. Maybe just trying to save his tires. As you see, the 1190 truck, 2 drivers known not to get along, battling really, really hard here. 11 truck right on the back bumper of 90 for 2nd place. It's going to have a look here. No. Decides to stay behind the 90 truck as 90 truck blows it outside wide, trying desperately to keep these drivers behind him with a little bit of damage. 11 truck once again trying to see if he can chop the nose underneath him. Now Matthew Weeks will have to worry about the 10 truck there, Jared Rexon, looking to his outside. Jared Rexing throws it out wide. Very aggressive driver. Everyone knows how aggressive Jared Rexing is, but very, very talented too. Side by side, looks like the 10 able to really keep the momentum to his side and able to look like he's going to complete a pass. 3 wide almost 3 wide at NASCAR 1 and 2 as the 97 trying to now work his way past Ethan Stanley there, trying to see if he can find a way past both these drivers. Going into this very hard turn. Oh, Matthew Weeks a little bit into the wall there. Oh, Jared Rexing missed the turn. He's going to have to take a slow down after working his way into the top 3. Is going to lose a massive amount of positions. And the one to really gain from all that is going to be the 97 of Alex Vandersant. Clears himself by a lot from those drivers. And that really made everything interesting back there. Look at how tight that has made the field from 5th on back as they are all over each other. Oh, Don Ryan into the wall. Ethan Burrell trying to get around him. Going into turn 1, Ethan Burrell is being attacked from all fronts there, as now he'll have the 83 of Wesley Crump to his back end, trying to get around him. Oh, get a little bit of contact there as well. The 83 into the back of the 37. Ethan Burrell surprisingly didn't even move the truck at all from being rear-ended going into that turn. That could have ended horribly for the 37, as now it looks like Rexing is trying to clear himself back into the 7th position there, or 8th position, trying to get himself back up there. There's battles all within that top 10 of these drivers trying to be able to get their way clear. Don't they know there's still 28 laps left to go, and they're battling hard. It's like they know track position's worth something right now. Well, very quickly, Alex Vandersant has started to catch to the back of Crump. He is within half a second, and his fastest turn, and also the most problematic for him, has been the bus stop, as he has now really gotten to the back of the 90 truck. And we were worried about Ethan Stanley right behind Alex Vandersant, not finishing in the top 10 and that stage. Now is up to 4, trying to follow the 97 through to try to see if he can get himself a top 3. So good recovery for the 91 too. We were worried about him, but it looks like that was for naught. You're on board here with Alex Vandersant, and you can see he's got to get around one of the most aggressive drivers right there. We've seen how difficult it's been for drivers to get around Scott Crump. They've ended up costing themselves more from trying to get around Scott Crump than they ever do gaining anything from it.
Cones.
Scott Crump taking some cones with him, trying desperately to get the momentum to stay in front of this 97. All this to the benefit of the 12 truck, as he has now got himself over a 5-second lead now. Oh, the 97 throwing in there, trying to find a way around that 90 truck, as we have battling all through the top 10. I just saw 3 or 4 trucks hit the outside turn 2 NASCAR wall, trying to get as much of the racetrack as possible. These drivers are pushing it like they're not trying to save tires at all. 90 truck just doing what he's known for, just really holding his line, being very difficult. And so far it's working. He has been able to keep that much faster truck of the 97 behind him. 97 right to his back bumper. But he's got to be careful, because right behind him is another aggressive driver of Ethan Stanley there. And if Ethan Stanley sees a way around the 97, he's going to take it. Oh, I just saw another driver hit the wall out there. It looks like Jared Rexing has hit the wall. He's dropped back now down to 16th after running in the top 5. So Jared Rexing having some issues. 89. I think he went off track just a little bit there. So unfortunate for some of our drivers that were running very well up there. Battle back, still going really hard here for the 2nd position. Scott Crump has backed him up so much that it's allowed Matthew Weeks to start catching up a little bit, but it looks like he will now finally relinquish that position over to the 97. Oh, Ethan Stanley saying, give me that too. I want it as well. Going through here. Oh, this is going to be tight. Oh, wow, they made it through there side by side. That's a very tough turn to go side by side through. Ethan Stanley trying to be aggressive here to take that position. Saw how difficult it was to get around the 90 truck, able to do so. So Ethan Stanley now in third position, doing really good job to recover some of those points from that stage of not making anything. So now to put the 11 back to the back bumper of the 90 truck once again. And here comes another driver that Scott Crump knows probably isn't going to race him very cleanly, and that's going to be the 9 truck of Sean Ryan. You see all the damage on the side of Sean Ryan. He didn't score any stage points, and you got to wonder, does he blame the 90 truck for that? And now he's going to be right coming up to the back bumper of the 90 truck. So Scott Crump has been a story maker, even when he's not really racing to get himself into the points here. He's just racing really hard and making life very difficult for some of these drivers trying to race their way into the playoffs here. See back there, Jesse Rasmus. He's got some damage from hitting something. At this point, it's harder to find a truck that hasn't made contact with somebody. See Corey Abbott trying to still work his way back into the top 10. Has just kind of been sitting there outside the top 10 after losing all those positions on pit road. Right in the back bumper to 90 after making a little contact. It looks like the 21's very fast, but has difficulties passing, as he's lost a lot of time behind the 90 truck once again. So that's going to be difficult for Corey Abbott to find himself back into the top 10. And that's a shame after having such a good run in the stage. Well, the battle is still shaping up. We have 25 laps to go. Not only with these two, but Van der Zandt is 4.5 seconds behind the 12 truck. And the question comes down, he is picking that timer down faster and faster. Watch that timer when he gets through this bus stop here. Here's the 12 truck through the bus stop, little sideways. And this is where the fastest part of the track has been for the 97. He's going to get through there. And he was slow going in, but look at the time he gains back. Look at the time he gains back. He's already back underneath 4 seconds. So it's going to be interesting to keep an eye on these two drivers. Has the 12 been able to save enough tires now to stay in front of the 97? Will the 97 be able to get back up there and run for the lead? Oh, Sean Ryan cut through the course. He's going to have a slowdown now. So Sean Ryan going to have a little bit of a slower area through that part of the track now, as he has to do a slowdown. He's going to have the 37 right to his back end. Oh, the 9 truck sideways as Ethan Burrell able to get underneath him side by side. Coming to another right-hander. Oh, they're touching just a little bit. Good racing, good clean racing between these two drivers, as the 9 truck able to stay out in front of Ethan Burrell. Ethan Burrell gave him just enough racetrack just to be able to get his momentum to pass the 97 on the outside. Or 37, sorry. Now the 9 truck has to try to work his way back up there to see if he can battle with Scott Crump and Matthew Weeks once again. Levin truck still has a really good exit there. See if he has the momentum to be able to see if he can make a pass. Trying to get some speed coming around NASCAR 3 and 4. We'll see if he makes any kind of dive bomb move here. He's as close as he's been so far. Is he going to look? No, he stays right to the back end of the 90 truck. Maybe trying to set up this turn. Every turn he looks like he has an opportunity. This time he's going to look low. Dives it in there. Able to clear the 90 truck and does a fantastic job of getting around for that 4th position. So now Matthew Weeks sees the 91 in front of him and is going to try to go to toe-to-toe to see if he can get himself into a top 3 position. Got Crump not done with him just yet, trying to see if he can be able to get back around him. I'm wondering if his damage has done him in. See how sideways he's pushing. You know he's losing a lot of rear grip every time he does that. Hard racing there between Weeks and Crump. Now Crump is back to the 5th position. You'll have Sean Ryan about a second behind him. Gonna try to see if Sean Ryan can get back up through. Oh, Sean loose going through the bus stop once again. I was wondering if any of these drivers were gonna save any kind of tire, but they are all pushing it so hard. There's absolutely no way these drivers are saving any tires right now. Well, Alex Van Sant is now cut it into the 3-second gap between him and the lead. Slowly starting to catch up. The 12 truck has around 9-second lead over 3rd place. So now it's just a battle between these two drivers for the lead right now. 12 truck trying to do everything he can. You can see the net gain for the 97. Slowly starting to gain. That last time by was almost 0.8 of a second faster. If that continues, we'll have a battle for the lead in about 2 to 3 laps if that continues. And so far, it looks like Alex Van Sant now down to the low 3 seconds behind the 12 truck. Coming to one of his best parts of the racetrack here. So smooth through there. Now our leader's going to be coming up on some lap traffic here, and that's really going to throw everything a little crazy, as he will be coming to the back of the field right now. I think he has 66 right in front of him. You see the damages. Those drivers in the back of the field really, really struggling with the handle on their truck, and it looks like it if you look at those trucks. So all those drivers have to really be concerned with getting through lap traffic cleanly and efficiently. Well, this has been probably I guess you would say, the least dramatic lap right now, as everyone's about a second, but it is starting to shape up as battles are going to start to come together once these tires start to burn up. You see the 90 truck there driving through, coming to a stop, then go, serving his stop and go on the racetrack. The one truck who's had a couple issues here tonight. Oh, he almost stopped it in time. Let off the brake too early there. As I stated, the tire wear is starting to become an issue for some of these drivers, and now we're having some really come and goers there. One of those drivers still trying to come up through the field. It's going to be Corey Abbott. He's right now looking on the outside. He's in 11th and sees Ray Bracey right in front of him there for the 10th position. So far, there's about a second gap through everyone in the field. 10th through 7th is only separated by 4 seconds, so they are still right on top of each other. There's just only about a second gap. One wrong turn or one little mistake, that's going to close all those gaps right up. Right there's your closest battle. As you see here with 97, he has slowly been catching. He's now 2.5 seconds behind the leader with 20 laps left to go. So the question will be, when did these drivers decide it's time to come down pit road? Because I guarantee you there's over a second difference between new tires and old tires. If I had to make a guess based off the lap times that they're doing right now, there is around a 1.5 second difference between new tires and old tires on track. So very quickly could you be able to gain some positions if you come down pit road ahead of your competitors. But how soon is too soon? And when do these drivers decide it's time to go down pit road? 19 laps to go. They're wanting to make it kind of halfway. That'll be around 15, 16 laps to go. So maybe some drivers are waiting until about the halfway point. You see some of our lap down trucks coming down pit road to stop the suffering of their race. Under 2 seconds now between the 97 and the 12 truck right now. And a battle shaping up for, looks like third was Ethan Stanley and Matthew Weeks there. Starting to shape up there as it looks like Weeks into third position. Ethan Stanley still right there with him. See, whoa, that 91 truck sideways getting up onto the NASCAR banking. Weeks Scott has the third position now. See how it happened. It looks like Matthew Weeks able to get past onto the outside. May have had a slowdown for the 91. And 91 truck trying to get himself back into the top 3 position. But now Matthew Weeks starting to put a little bit of a gap in between him and Ethan Stanley. Sean Ryan able to get around Crump there. Crump has lost a few seconds. Now Crump is battling with Ethan Burrell. So while we're watching these replays, these drivers are starting to suffer. You see Ethan Stanley coming down pit road. He's going to try to see if he can leapfrog some of those guys to get back up into the top 3 here. So Ethan Stanley there is going to be one of our first competitors to come down for pit road to get some tires. But battle still shaping up between Crump and Ethan Burrell there. Ethan Burrell trying to get himself back up into a top 5 running position there. And Crump is still, he's been watching the mirror more than out front so far in this stage. He's been battling hard with these drivers to keep him behind. 37's got to be trying to get around him as quickly as possible. It'll be interesting to see now that competitors know that drivers are going down pit road. When do they decide to take their turn down pit road? As a battle for the lead has finally started to shape up here. 97 has now finally caught the 12 truck here. So when do these two drivers decide to take the advantage of new tires? Not yet. They are still hard pressed to battle with each other. As here comes some of our other competitors past pit road. Ethan Burrell finally able to get around Scott Crump for position. So far, no one in the top 6 is pitted just as of yet. We do have Robert Hill go down pit road now. Now Alex Anderson right to the back bumper of the 12 truck. Lost it on lap 1 of the second stage. It took this long to get himself back up. You can see the back end of the 12 truck really starting to lose time. You can see how well the 97 is able to turn now, going to be underneath through turns NASCAR 1 and 2, trying to see if he can take the shorter route to get underneath the 12 truck. 12 will have the momentum coming out of the turn, as here they come to the bus stop, and it looks like the 12 is going to be able to have the speed going into the turn. Will he have it coming out? Oh, sideways. That's going to set up the 97 to have a really good chance to get underneath him. He does through 3 and 4. Now has finally got himself back out to the lead. When will the 12 truck come down? He's going to want to try to pit before the 97 to get himself back out front. Oh, he hit the 97.
Hit that one a ton, didn't he?
He hit those bumps just head on, hard. He's got to be careful because that can damage the truck. So now Alex Van is saying back out front with 16 laps left to go. Matthew Weeks deciding to come down pit road, as well as Ethan Burrell there. Both of those are Pro Edge teammates. They both decide now's the time to pit. So does Ray Bracey back there in the 10th position decides to pit as well. Now Alex Anderson starting to really put on the gap. As now he's almost a second and a half after just about a half a lap after taking the lead. So he has put the afterburners on and has taken off from the 12 truck. 12, if he has any hopes to be able to gain anything on the 97, will need to pit now. Truck really throwing it into those turns, and it is costing him. He is now 2 seconds behind the leader. You see here, Tyler Dixon, one of our chase contenders.
Birthday boy. I heard today's his birthday.
Well, congratulations to our series sponsor for his birthday. He probably wishes it was at a track he prefers a little bit more. Not sure what happened here.
Yeah, it might have just been that blink or something. Got triggered.
Probably was that blink there. Norgard still deciding to stay out on track, and that's got to make you wonder. He's now almost 2.5 seconds back from the leader. Even if he has a lap of green, I don't know if he catches the 97. 97 can still be able to pit after a lap after the 12 and stay out front at this point. Jared Rexing, not the stage 2 he was hoping for. He just had issue after issue, fell outside the top 10, and is now down pit road now. Well, we were wondering how much tiring. Ethan Stanley pitted 4 laps for 4 weeks, and he had almost a 10-second lead over Weeks when they came out of pit road. Now Weeks will have newer tires, but he has 15 laps to do it in to be able to catch Ethan Stanley. So far, has knocked it down to 8 seconds, but 10 seconds after just 3 to 4 laps. Almost a 2-second advantage a lap is those new tires. Now you see the 12 truck pitting. So he's going to come down pit road. I would have to expect Alex Vanderson's going to pit next time by. If he does so, he should still retain the lead based off the gapping he had on the 12. The 12's got to hope the 97 has an issue from here around the racetrack to get himself back into contending for that win. This is just what he wanted to, because now the 97 has been stuck behind lap traffic trying to see if he can get around them, but this has got to be slowing his lap down. So this is exactly, you see a little bump he's giving the 47 there to get them to go, because he has to know the 12 is pitted and he's losing time on track behind them. This might allow the 12 to be able to leapfrog him now. So that little bit of lap traffic slowed him down almost a second in the infield. Now we'll have to see if the 97 decides to come down pit road this time by. We are 14 laps to go. This time by would be 13. No, decides to stay out on track is the 97. So this is going to put the 12 car back out front now after pit site stops sub-cycle crew with almost a 2-second gap difference in time between the two. That's going to allow the 12 to really be able to get more laps out in front, but it's going to set the 97 up with having newer tires at the end of this race. Still a 9-second gap between Weeks and Stanley there. That'd be a finish for a top 3. So Ethan Stanley trying to get himself, I don't want to do that too many times. He's going to lose some time there. He's going to try to see if he can stay out front of Matthew Weeks, who has newer tires. He has 13 laps to do it in. And right behind Matthew Weeks is his teammate Ethan Burrell. So 91's got to be careful here, going through lap traffic not a great spot to hit lap traffic. That's going to also not help his lap times, as now it went from being it's still about a 9-second gap difference between the 91 and the 11. Well, lap traffic has become an issue. We'll see if this time around 97 decides to come down pit road. And does not. gotta wonder what are you gonna do with those new tires there in 97. You're gonna have to compound pit road. Again, all these drivers right there, 97, the 12, those two drivers trying to see if they can lock themselves in to the pace or to the final race. Scott Crump's still out there. Lethan Joyner out there as well in 4th position. It's believed that all these drivers still have to pit. Well, laps left to go in the race.
It's kind of interesting because Alex Van de Zandt's last lap was pretty much on par with the new lap tires, or cars with the new tires. 124.8 for him versus, say, Ethan Stanley. It was 125.30, so he's actually faster than a car with new tires.
Well, I'm really wondering what's going on because I might have not been paying attention. Did Matthew Weeks and Nathan Burrell and Ethan Stanley, did they had to take tires? I'm just wondering why the 12 truck is so far behind right now. He's a whole minute and 8 seconds behind the leader. I think the 12 truck ended up having a pass through and a hold. I think he may have sped because he's back there in 14th position behind other drivers who have pitted. I was wondering, I had just a mind freeze as I was wondering why Ethan Stanley was in 4th, but where was the 12 truck? And 12 truck is almost 40 seconds behind Ethan Stanley on the racetrack, back there in 14th. So I see now why the 97's not really worried because his closest competitor, I think he sped on pit road.
If you can go back and see what his pit stop was like.
He gets his pit stop there, but is there a hold at the end when the tires go down? We see the rights go up, the rights go down. We see the lefts go up, and the lefts go down. Yeah, he had a hold.
Yeah, his looks like his pit time was 55 seconds. So.
Oh, no. Oh, he was racing for a win, pitted early. I apologize. It took us like 8 laps to figure out what happened there. But, yeah, the 12 truck sped on pit road and had a 40-second hold at the end of his pit stop. And now that has put him outside the top 10. Still has a chance to get into the top 10. But the 12 truck had a chance to be able to get himself a win potentially. Now the 97 has no competitors around him. He can pit at any time he wants because he's running lap times comparable to those guys behind with newer tires. So he has really nothing to worry about. Wow, that really, really, really changed up how the complexion is. Now it's Ethan Stanley trying to get back up there past Sean Ryan, who hasn't pitted yet, to see if he can get himself into a second place finishing spot rather than a third. And that will put Weeks battling to try to get himself into the third position with his new tires. There are 10 laps left to go in this race. And with Leighton Norgard's their issue on pit road, that opened up a few more spots. See Sean Ryan there. Wow, the back end coming out on his truck. He has no rear tires left at this point. But yet still going around there on the racetrack. So I've got to wonder if some of these drivers, maybe the times have slowed down so much that they can make it on fuel, because everyone was telling me before that you'd have to pit at least once, but it was going to be close and you could make it. So I'm wondering if some of these drivers like Scott Crump, John Ryan, and even our leader here, Van de Zandt, if they can just make it on fuel, because Ethan Stanley has been about still half a second faster a lap than the leader with his newer tires. So more than that, actually. He's been almost a second and a half faster at these points. Oh, that's between Sean Ryan and Ethan Stanley. My bad.
Yeah, that's the old tires. But yeah, Alex Van Zandt's times are not comparable to. Well, I guess the last lap he was pretty comparable to Sean Ryan. They were 126.4 and 126.6.
So roughly around a second difference between Ethan Stanley with new tires and our leader Alex Van Zandt. Well, again, the question comes down: do any of these other drivers pit? Sean Ryan there in second place. You see the red. He's outside the top 5 points right now, he didn't gain any stage points, so maybe this is his opportunity to try to see if he can go up there and steal himself a top 3 position and points or finish here. And Ethan Stanley tracking him down with 8 laps left to go. Ethan Stanley should catch him, but I don't know if Matthew Weeks can. Matthew Weeks really has not been catching some of these drivers as quickly as I thought. I thought he would, with 3 to 4 lap newer tires, would eventually start eating into Ethan Stanley's time. And he has somewhat, but not as much as you would expect. He's still, we're talking tenths of a second faster. Not enough to gain with 8 laps left to go. So Ethan Stanley well out in front of these Pro Edge duo here. Ethan Stanley now in a mix of a lot of lap traffic as he tries to get around Dixon there. Gonna lose some time on the racetrack now, having to try to get through all that. Well, right now 14 trucks are still on the lead lap there. Seven laps left to go. You see there, almost 2 seconds that Stanley has been catching on to the back of Sean Ryan. With only about 4 seconds between them, that means Ethan Stanley should be there within just a few laps to finally be able to get that second position. But Sean Ryan has a good shot here if he can make it on fuel to be able to get himself a 3rd position, which would be incredible for Sean Ryan after the incident he had with Scott Crump, who was back in 4th position. But Scott Crump has a lot of fast drivers right behind him. Joyner now has gotten to the back of Scott Crump. And Matthew Weeks with newer tires and Ethan Burrell with newer tires have all caught back up to Scott Crump there. Looks like Matthew Weeks will now finally be able to set up a pass here on the 03 for that 5th position.
You need to get by him quickly. Keep that pace moving forward.
If he wants to have anything to do with Scott Crump, he's going to need to get around him. But even if he does make quick work of this driver, I don't think he gains 15 seconds on Sean Ryan in 6 laps. I don't know if he can do that. You see the 11 having a lot of momentum. Going to look to the outside of the 03. That's bold. Makes the pass even. Here comes the 37 trying to force his way through as well. Wow, both of those Pro Edge drivers really putting some pressure on Joyner there as they both try to make quick work of that 03. And they do. They both pass him. So that moves Weeks up to 5th and Burrell up to 6th there. Ethan Stanley now within a second of our 2nd place driver. 6 laps left to go. Ooh, sideways for the 91. Still sideways. He's not lifting yet. He sees that 2nd place until he gets it. I don't think he's going to relax, as he is really going onto the back there of the 9 truck. But there is almost 10 seconds difference between where Sean Ryan is and where Crump is. You see Weeks finally getting to the back of Crump. And try to see if he can set up a pass coming out of NASCAR turns 1 and 2 here. And you see a battle now really straightening up. Oh, the 91.
No. Oh, his
Boy.
progress.
Yeah, as long as he can continue going, he can still have a shot to get that second place. But boy, that could have ended real bad for the 91 of Ethan Stanley there. He's going to lose like 3 seconds on the 9 truck, but at least he's still going to have a truck to continue to go for it. You see a battle now here shaping up with the 11 truck trying to get to the outside of the 90, going to go into the turn. They both throw it in there. Scott Crump able to hold him off, and that's going to slow up the 11 truck even more with 5 laps to go. I don't see him. It's going to be close. He has to gain 12 seconds if he wants to get up there and pass Sean Ryan with older tires. He's now going to be able to complete the pass, possibly on the 90 truck. Crump has been battling hard. Oh, he's going to use him up just a little bit, push him out wide. Crump is going to lose both the positions to the Pro Edge drivers as both of them look to the outside to clear him. Oh, Ethan Burrell got into the grass a little bit, lost some time there. Oh, he was trying, Ethan Burrell trying to follow Matthew Weeks these passes. Weeks has a much easier time, and Burrell tries to follow him through, and it never works out for the 37, as he always ends up having to battle a lot harder for that position, as he always gets put in a bad spot whenever he goes to try to pass him. Now looks to the inside of Scott Crump. Oh, this is another tight turn to try to make a pass. Ethan Burrell going to try to wrap around on the outside, still side by side. Hard racing. That really slowed up Crump because now Joyner's right to his back bumper as well. Now the question is, with 4 laps, I don't see Matthew Weeks gaining another position. He is 12 seconds behind the next driver. So I don't see Matthew Weeks getting the top 3 position. The question will be, will Stanley finally be able to clean it up to make the pass for second here?
Alex Van de Zandt ran a 1:24.9 last lap.
Yeah, he's not slowing down. His times have leveled out. These drivers with newer tires, their advantage has gone away for Alex Van de Zandt. I feel like if there was a caution, 97 still wouldn't pit and outrun him. He's just that much faster right now. But Ethan Stanley, within 1 second now with the 9 truck, will have, once they get to the flag stand here, 3 laps left to go to see if he can be able to make that pass. About 12 seconds behind both of these drivers is Matthew Weeks and Ethan Burrell. Wow, the 9 truck caught that lap traffic at a bad time. Bad time.
Dustin Dewar around back there.
Yeah, it caught him at a bad time. Nothing that those drivers did, but yeah, unfortunate where he caught him at, because 32 was trying to get out of his way, spun himself trying to do so to make sure he didn't impact this race for these drivers. But that really stacked up the 9 to the back of that 91 now. With 91 still pushing it. He's got 3 laps. You got a lot newer tires. Just take your time. Don't make that mistake like you did. I don't know if you can save it next time, because that was close last time around. 91 now to the back bumper of the 9 truck. Sean Ryan doing a fantastic job with these old tires of being able to keep somewhat pace with some of these guys with newer tires here. Through the bus stop once again, 90 truck, a lot better turn that time around. Will have the momentum his way. Will he be able to make any kind of move, as here they come to 2 laps to go. This is a battle for second place where points matter. On board here, 91 has a really good exit. 9 truck got loose. He's going to look to the inside, going into turn 1 here. Throws it in there, able to just clear the front nose of the 9 truck to get that second place. So Ethan Stanley, from 22nd starting position, worked his way back up through the field and now running in second place. Ethan Stanley's second year racing here in the Truck Series, made the playoffs last year, made the Final Four, did not come away the winner last year, trying to see if he can be able to get back into running order to make it once again. But up front, it has been all Alex Vandersand here, as here he comes to take the white flag. 1 lap left to go for the 97 truck there. Came in the favorite for this race and showing why. Made one mistake, but has come back from it. Has an absolutely clean truck. I believe the only truck out here with no damage on it. And he has just been absolutely perfect from then on. Old tires, never had to pit in the last stage, didn't need to. He had the speed to be able to do it. Coming around through the final parts of the infield here, has a few lap traffic left to go to deal with. Well, he is hoping the final couple laps here, or a couple turns here, to be able to finish it off, so that way he can go and enjoy the last 2 races before the final race here. He'll go to North Wilkesboro with no issues and no problems. He'll go to Talladega with not having to worry about the big one. And he'll finally be able to start practicing for Kentucky, as the battle's still shaking up for second place back there. Looks like Ethan Stanley finally able to clear himself enough. But here they come. The final turn. And the 97 of Alex Vandersand will lock himself in at Kentucky and will go for a Truck Series championship. Now he just has to sit there and practice, as now Scott Crump will have a partner that will be locked in for Dugard Motorsports. Alex Vandersand locks himself in here at the Charlotte Roval. Just a rocket ship. Finishes over 30 seconds over the field, as we still have battling back there further. Looks like a good battle for 7th and 8th there, or 6th and 7th there. Looks like Lethem Joyner able to finally get around Scott Crump. Looks like that would be the finishing order for those drivers there. Corey Abbott gonna ask what if he didn't have that issue on pit road. Able to still finish into the top 10. Gonna finish there in 9th position for Corey Abbott. Jared Rexing able to come back to a top 10. These drivers are all finishing up their lap. And you see there the 12 truck. Gotta be frustrated with himself. He was so far back in points, was gonna start erasing some of that deficit here, and now is gonna find himself further back in points once again. But as you see here, 97 truck of Alex Vandersand did everything right after having that incident there. Did everything right coming back up through the field. Did not rush it, did not worry. Just ran lap after lap and able to come home with the victory here. Missed out on the road course victory earlier in the year. Did not want to have to miss it this time, and able to come home. Well, let's go ahead and do the race rundown here.
Yeah, just a second here. All right, now it's finished. All right, so we had Alex Vandersand as our winner, Ethan Stanley, Sean Ryan, Matthew Weeks, Ethan Burrell, Lethem Joyner, Scott Crump, Robert Hill Jr., Corey Abbott, and Jared Rexing round out the top 10. Leighton Norgard, Wesley Crump, Ray Bracey, Michael Hosack, Brent Jones, Dustin Durer, Cody McCorkle, Tyler Dixon, Mark Murphy, Michael Klein, Andrew Hardcastle, Sam Batwell, Jaden Rasmus, Jesse Rasmus, and running out the field, Cody Harrington.
So a few drivers that are now going to be looking at the playoffs as a must-win, and other drivers looking at a very good points day today here to try to see if they can get themselves locked in on points. This takes away another position, so there's right now 3 positions based off of points. 2 drivers have now locked themselves in: Scott Crump and Alex Van de Sant. Let's go ahead and see if we can bring in our third place driver of Sean Ryan.
If I say like 11.
Whoop!
Oh,
You got us there,
What are you
Sean?
going to say? What are you going to say?
Yeah. Hey,
oh,
Sean,
we'll
we
save it.
saw you had a little bit of a hustle there between tussle there between you and Scott Crump, and that ended up putting you outside of the points of the stage. But overall, with strategy that you've come up with staying out there, came came away with third place to help you with your points position there. Are you still looking at this as a points opportunity to try to get yourself in that way, or do you see it now as a must win with the final 2 races of the season?
I gotta be. I mean, like I'm never. I don't necessarily always give myself the confidence to win races with these guys. There's a lot of really fast drivers out here, so I uh I gotta get my points where I can get them. Road courses, I like to think I have a shot, but with Alex, winning races, it's kind of difficult. So yeah, I'm just going for points at this point. So third place is nice. Would have been nice to get some stage points too, but I'll take what I can get.
And you speak, that's going to be something that you look back on as a what if moment, because there's about 8 or 9 points there that you potentially lost, not getting any stage point. What ended up happening there between you and Crump? Was it just a racing incident, or you feel like there's a little more to it?
So I mean, I got the over under going into one, and I had a run coming out, and the walls get tight there, and so I was trying to stay as close to the wall as I could, and he kind of squeezed me down a little bit. We had a little rub, nothing too much, but it got him loose, and I guess he didn't want to take his foot out the accelerator, and he hooked me. So I mean, it is what it is. I thought I could make it too wide there, and we'd both come out, the other side, but I guess aggression on both parties got the better of us, and points lost. So
Well, we've got 2 more races. We've got North Wilkesboro in 2 weeks, and we've got Talladega after that, which anybody can win at Talladega. Uh, do you go into North Wilkesboro as you've got to gain the positions there because you don't know what's going to happen at Talladega, or do you go into there thinking I got to go and try to see if we could potentially win it?
I mean, I'm gonna do the best that I can do. I don't think I am looking at it like this is a race that I have to win. I'm just gonna go rock up to practice and qualifying, see what kind of pace we have, and if it's race winning pace, then we'll try and go for the win there. And if it's just points of pace, we'll do the best we can do. But that's kind of all I can do at this point.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations on a third place with strategy and a lot older tires. I'm sure they were not happy at the end of that race with how sideways you were having to drive it. But overall, able to have enough time to be able to get in front of Matthew Weeks and Ethan Burrell with new tires. So overall, good third place finish. We want to go ahead and let you do your shout outs and thank yous for after running that difficult. It feels pretty good to come home with a top 3.
Yeah, I'd like to thank Corey Abbott for putting the team together over here at Abbott Motorsports and all the guys that run with us. I'd like to thank Jimmy Hayden of Jimmy Hayden Designs for doing the liveries of our trucks, and check him out. He does photography work as well, and then Six Sigma Racing Rigs. They do a good job over there as well. So thanks, guys.
Speaking of Corey Abbott, are you gonna tell him where pit road is next time? Pit road
Oh
exit.
man, poor guy. Poor guy. Uh, was
Yeah, that
heartbroken to see him there.
That was rough one. That was a rough one. But
Yeah, for sure.
again, congratulations on your third place. Hopefully, we'll get to see you again and have a chance to get yourself into the final five positions there for the running of the final race.
Thank you.
That was Sean Ryan, our third place finisher. Let's see if we can bring up our second place driver. Well, overall, it will be 44 laps run. But with how stages worked out and with how the race finish worked out, you're gonna really come home with zero distance between you and Ethan Burrell in the final standings, as he gained those points in the stage over you, and you gained them right back at the finish. But overall, came out with the new tires, was the top running guy with new tires, hard running there. A lot of issues, a lot of difficult tracks. Started back in 22nd. Definitely the biggest gainer of tonight's race. After all of that, what do you take away from tonight's event?
Yeah, honestly, a little bit disappointed I couldn't fight for the win or the lead there. Starting all the way in the back, just screwed up qualifying, couldn't get a lap in, so had to really fight through the whole pack and really destroy my tires, and I just couldn't keep up at the end. I'm just glad I got past Sean. He was also struggling a little bit on tires, but great race with him and decent points finish for me.
Well, we know one driver will make it in on points, and we have two tracks set. Anything can happen: North Wilkesboro and Talladega. So really, you're the first driver right now that can make it in on points guaranteed. But Ethan Burrell is right behind you, and after tonight's event, with him gaining those stage points of three and you gaining three positions over him in the final race, nothing was gained or lost here. Do you take that as a victory after all the stuff that happened today? And do you look at North Wilkesboro as the final chance to really gain an advantage over the competition on points?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I was looking towards this race for a little bit of a points gap, but North Wilkesboro is one of my better tracks. Nice little fun short track. And Talladega, usually I'm a pretty good runner at Talladega, but you never know what'll happen.
Well, we said you don't know what will happen at Talladega. Do you go into Talladega and North Wilkesboro being on the more conservative side, knowing that you have that points position that you have to try to maintain? Or do you put yourself in a position where you could potentially lose it all, but you can potentially win and lock yourself in? How's your strategy change up now for the final two races?
I mean, knowing my luck, I just got to run aggressive and run up front, get those stage points, and try to get a good finish. I've been really unlucky not getting any wins this season or last season. Been up there, it's just hasn't quite happened. So maybe I can get one done at North Wilkesboro or Dega, but just gonna try to run up front and keep my points lead.
Well, absolutely. Well, congratulations on the second place. The victories will come. They are hard to get, I promise you, here in Elite. But overall, great points finish to help your chances of making the final five once again this season, like you did last season. So, overall, congratulations on the second place. We want to let you do your thank yous and shout outs because, as you stated, this is a tough series. Don't know when you'll be able to get another thank you and shout outs. Hopefully, soon, though.
Yeah, shout outs to all my sponsors: 3Chi, Esports Furniture, Glitch Energy, and Killer Jerky. Shout out to my team, Quantum Threat. Shout out to you guys for doing the broadcast and making this happen. And of course, shout out to Chad and everybody else that makes the league run.
Well, congratulations on second place. Hopefully, we'll see you again in the top three in 2 weeks so we can talk to you once again. And overall, congratulations on still being the highest running points driver based off of points right now. So we'll hopefully get to talk to you again.
Yep, thank you. Talk to you soon, hopefully.
Well, that was your second place driver, Ethan Stanley. Let's go ahead and see if we can bring up the winner here. Well, he was barely locked in on points, or not locked in, but in on points coming into today's race, was heavily the favorite. But that doesn't mean anything when you come to these trucks. Lost it at the truck or at the road course earlier in the season, didn't get the win there, but comes home clutch tonight, comes away with the victory, and now can say that he is going to be running for a championship at Kentucky. Alex Van de Sant, was it as easy as everyone saw, or did you just get lucky with the mistakes that you made that you were able to get back up there in time to be able to get back into the lead?
Yeah, definitely happy with how I drove. I mean, the car, it was hard to drive. The track was just melting hot at the start and all through practice. And I was just waiting for it to cool down as the race went on. And I ended up doing my fastest laps towards the end. But yeah, despite that one mistake on the restart, I was able to recover and execute on the strategy and just have the pace to stay ahead. So yeah, really proud of the win and excited to go for a championship. That my main goal was just to make the championship 5. Just gonna see where I can go from here.
Well, we still have 2 races left, but you don't have anything to worry about, and that will be so nice because we go to a short tracks next and then a super speedway, which anything can happen. And with how the points can play out, anything could change all that around for any of those drivers. So no one's really safe except for now you and Scott Crump. Do you start putting the laps in at Kansas? Start getting the practice in, knowing that you have a shot to go for a championship?
Yeah, I'll definitely start doing laps well beforehand. By that point, a lot of my other leagues and stuff will have cooled down, so I'll really be able to focus on this. And yeah, for the last 2 races, it's nice just having that weight off my back and being able to just go for it and run for wins and not worry about stages and the points and stuff. I can just go all out and get ready for the final.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations on that victory. Again, hard fought as you worked your way back up through that mistake on that restart, and overall the cleanest truck by far at the end of it. With how difficult the track conditions were, I'm sure that was not easily said than done. But overall, congratulations on the victory. We want you to do your thank yous and shout outs for your sponsors, as we will be talking to you at Kansas before the race, regardless of how the next couple races go for you.
As always, big thanks to all the guys at Do Good Motorsports. Good result for the others. Brent got a top 15, which is awesome. Yeah, thanks to those guys. Powerside Motorsports, Miss Goodies Goodies, and actually shout out as well to Michael Klein running the race today. He ran a special livery and was donating all of his stream donations to the Colorado Healing Fund for all the victims of the shooting last night and the tragedy in Colorado. So big thanks to him for doing that. That's a great cause. Yeah.
Absolutely. Great cause indeed. And thank you again for showing up and being able to put on a clinic for some of these drivers, as you show, even with old tires, showing some real fast lap times there, fastest of the race there as well. Congratulations on your victory, and we'll get to talk to you again at Kansas.
Yep. Thanks, guys.
Well, 2 spots down. Write them down. 2 spots guaranteed for Kansas. We will see these 2 drivers racing for it. That is Scott Crump and Alex Van de Sant. We still have 2 more races left to determine the next 3 drivers. Who's going to make it in? We got North Wilkesboro, a short track, one of my favorite tracks on the schedule here, and that will be on the 4th of December. Make sure you tune in so you can be able to watch and see how it plays out with the points and see who might put a bumper to somebody to just get themselves locked in. Maybe won't see a wall ride at a short track for a playoff spot, but I do feel like we will see some bumping and some racing for those final positions there. This was a great race for everyone. This was a great road course. I love how this road course sets up. A lot of aggressive drivers. Alex Van de Sant just put on a clinic here. 34 seconds makes it look like he had an easy time out there, but that was not the case. Had to race really hard with some drivers to be able to get into that position once again. But overall, enjoyable broadcast for us over here at the Elite Racing Network. We love to thank everyone involved. We love to thank everyone that tuned in. And again, tune in next week or 2 weeks from now when we go to North Wilkesboro to see how these drivers play out at that short track. Will it be a wreck fest? Will it be a runaway? Will it be a bump and bang to a finish? Well, tune in and you will be able to find out then. Again, this was Gerald Campbell. It was a pleasure broadcasting with David Huckleberry here, bringing you these wonderful shots like he always does. And we hope to see you again in 2 weeks at North Wilkesboro. Have a wonderful